I'm standing on Gore Avenue in what used to be called Hogan's Alley. Now, the alley ran back to Jackson Avenue 2 blocks to the east. It also ran 1 block towards Main to the west, but more on that later. Now, in its heyday, from the 1930s to 40s, Hogan's Alley was a collection of small cottages, Southern-style restaurants, and makeshift nightclubs. And depending on your point of view, it was either a den of crime and squalor or the most interesting and vibrant place in Vancouver. This neighborhood has always been racially mixed. At one time, it included several hundred blacks. The majority came from 2 immigrant streams, from California and from Oklahoma via Alberta. Now, one immigrant from California was Fielding Spots. Now, Mr. Spots arrived on Vancouver Island as an infant in 1860. His father was part of the first wave of black migration to BC during the Fraser Gold Rush, but he was more concerned about escaping the growing racism in the United States. As Vancouver became the economic center for the province, the black population began to move here, and in 1902, Mr. Spots moved with them. He worked as a laborer and lived in his cottage on Prior Street, and in 1937, he died there at the age of 79. A few years later, the Crump family moved to Strathcona from Alberta. Originally from Oklahoma, the Crumps left the US for the same reason as Mr. Spots, to escape racism. And Mr. Crump instilled in his twin sons, Ronnie and Robert, a love of music. The Crump twins, as they were known, were born entertainers. Not only did they have their own boxing routine, they also tap danced and formed their own musical duet. The Crump twins wowed audiences all over town, but they loved to play the local places, like Mammy's Chicken Inn here in Hogan's Alley. And they became for decades a fixture on its infamous music and club scene. But in the 1960s, the music came to an end when the city decided that Hogan's Alley and parts of Chinatown would be leveled for a freeway. Now, due to resistance from the community, the freeway was never built, but in 1972, this was the Georgia Viaduct. The viaduct destroyed the western end of Hogan's Alley. That demolition and the fact that it was now easier for blacks to find housing in other parts of the city brought an end to the first and last black neighborhood in Vancouver.